Hey, folks, Quill18 here, and welcome to our second episode of Dwarf Fortress Worked Cloaks, our second attempt at a pocket world game, which I like so much. I know that the map isn't much to look at here, but I love how close and personal everything is in this pocket world. You know, we're really going to feel the importance of every location on the map. And as a bonus, no elves. They're already gone. For all we know, there might be some elves that are actually alive, living, somewhere in this world here. The human town, the dwarven town, maybe even the goblin town, but there's no elven civilization. And of course, that makes me oh so very happy. Of course, in D&D, I rarely play dwarves and actually, use elves a lot. Mostly half elves, because they're kind of OP in a lot of editions of D&D. But not here. Not when we play Dwarf Fortress. Of course, we have other things in mind. So our farming is going, our mining is happening. Before autumn rolls around, we are going to want to clear out the rest of this area over here and confirm and build ourselves our trade depot. I'm sorry, depot. Oh, I feel so bad when I forget the mispronunciation things. We've got quite a bit of tetrahedrite. We got some more over here as well. So we're going to be sorted for some copper and some amount of silver. Now, silver, of course, is great. The silver warhammers are excellent weapons. There's really interesting discussions as to which all-round weapons are the best choices to have, whether we're talking about like steel short swords or silver warhammers or spears. And it does depend a lot on what kind of creature you're fighting and what kind of armor they might have. And especially if you're fighting undead, things can be quite different because you're interested in pulping them, which is a whole other mechanic. But just realized I was supposed to mess around with the stockpiles before starting it. I was going to do a little bit of prep work in between, but I got so excited about starting the next episode that I just went ahead and did it. All right, we're going to build a stone stockpile over here to service the stone workers and the craft dwarf over here, but we're going to set some filters here. So I don't want to accept necessarily all types of stone. I just want other stone over here. This is going to be what we're going to use to make our stone furniture and our mugs out of. So not metal ores, not economic stones, not clay, just anything described as other stone that doesn't have any special use. We're going to go and get those enabled there, so that's going to be there. I'm going to make sure you've got at least a couple of wheelbarrows because stone is very heavy and slow to move around, but wheelbarrows are faster. We are going to have to set up some jobs for that to get started, but well, I guess there's kind of sort of no time like the present, huh? Let's set up some work orders. Now, in Dwarf Fortress, to set up a job, you can click on a workshop and you can click add task. You can start a job over here. This is kind of cumbersome. You set them up one at a time, and what happens is if you don't currently have the material for it, you can't actually queue it up like you can see over here. And then if you set up a job and then at some point the material kind of runs out or there's not enough of it or whatever, then the job just gets canceled and falls out of queue and then never completes. It's much, much, much better to do. I basically do everything through work orders all the time. Now, you can access the work orders for a specific workshop here from this tab, although you see we get an error here. Managers required to add orders to the shop. You can also add orders globally through this button over here. The hotkey is O, and you can set up jobs. You can see because of DF hack, it's got auto milk on, so you can see this job in the queue over here. It's not going to do anything because we don't have a farmer's workshop yet, but just ignore that. But we can add jobs over here, except again, we get the message, a manager is required to coordinate work orders. So we need a manager set up. So if we go into our noble screen, you can see here we've got an option for manager. We've got a few things, but we'll set up the manager first. And organizer is the skill that managers use. So the Bard of Blarney over here did ship out with some organizing skills. So we'll go ahead and click that. Bard of Blarney, in addition to being a miner, is also going to be our manager. Now you can see a complaint here about lack of an office. When your population goes above 20, to have your manager work, they actually do need an office that they go and work at. But until you hit 20, they don't need it. They can just keep track of everything in their head, I suppose, is what's going on over here. So I think the bookkeeper is also the same. So Darth Sleepy here is a proficient record keeper. So we'll do that. I might be wrong. It's possible the bookkeeper does always need an office to work, but the manager doesn't until you get to population 20. So if we go and either through this work orders tab, which is again specific to this exact carpenter's shop, the button is now enabled, or we can go here and set up a global order, which would mean any carpenter's workshop can do the job. Although we only have the one. We can start to set up some jobs. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We know we need some beds for people to sleep in. And beds, only one option. They always get made out of wood. So we'll do that. We're going to change these numbers in a little bit. We're going to need beds. What else are we going to need? We are going to need bins and barrels. We can make them, you can make metal ones later on, but we don't really have the metal industry takes some work to set up. So we're going to set up wooden bins and barrels. We have access to lots of trees. Wood is light, so that's going to be great. So that's bins, wooden barrel. We got a bit of a complaint about buckets as well. So I just clicked on something random. I think this is a part of a musical instrument. Yeah. Wooden, what was I saying? Bucket. I'm going to set up a job for those. I think that's all we need to make out of wood right now. So I'm sort of thinking one material at a time. So this, by default, sets up a job to make 10 of these one time. We're going to make a little bit of a change to this. We are going to set up some automation for these right from the start of things. So what I'm going to do is set this to 1. So this is going to make 1 bed. And then I'm going to click this button over here for the conditions. And I'm going to say, if the amount of beds we have is less than 2, if we don't have 2 beds in our stockpile, make 1 bed every day. So as soon as you click the condition mode, this sets a repeating job that gets checked every single day. If you don't set any condition over here, that would make 1 bed per day forever. Here we're going to do this. Now we can also make it so that it only happens if we have some logs. Currently, I'm not going to set this because I actually want to see some error messages. If we don't have any logs, I want to see me getting spammed with messages about, hey, I tried to make a bed, but I didn't have logs. Because that's going to tell me, oh, I got to start chopping down some trees. Later on, we will probably make some conditions that interact with these ingredients a little bit more to make sure we're not, overspending in weird waves. And that'll mostly be tied in once I get auto chop enabled, which is a DF hack module that will automate cutting down trees as we need certain amounts. Then, we might mess with things. But for now, we're going to do this. So if we have fewer than 2 beds in our stockpile, make 1 bed. We'll do the same thing for bins, except here I want to specifically look for empty bins, not bins in general. I want empty bins, and I do want to have a lot of empty bins sitting around ready to go. I'm going to set it to 10 because they'll get filled up really quick with individual little things. So I want a good buffer of empty bins ready to go. Same thing with barrels. If empty barrels is less than 10, do that. But we can still just make 1 a day. Don't queue up more than that, just slowly doing it up. 1 a day, that's going to be okay. Wooden buckets, empty buckets. We don't need as many. Let's keep 4 empty buckets around at any given time. And again, make no more than 1 per day. That's going to be fine. What else do we want? Well, now I'm moving my brain over to things we might want to make out of stone. So that's going to be rock doors, rock tables, rock chairs, although chairs made out of rock are called thrones. Oh, we're gonna want some mechanisms as well, which is made at the mechanist's workshop as opposed to stoneworkers, but that's gonna be okay. Again, with these, I will set some rules. We're gonna just make no more than 1 per day, and keep, I think the same thing. Keep a couple of doors around. We might increase those numbers later to facilitate more rapid construction, but that's gonna be okay. 2 tables and 2 chairs. Or what might happen when I know I'm going to I want to place a bunch of them very quickly, I might order a one-time job of okay, make me 30 doors because I'm building 30 new bedrooms, because go ahead and rapidly bang out some doors. And the mechanisms, same thing. We don't need to keep a lot of those around. Maybe we'll set something like 4. Yeah, that's going to be fine. I want a few more than some of these others. Because when you're setting up a lever thing, you need 2 at each end, and I might want to build a bunch of traps very quickly. So a few more mechanisms around, I think that's going to be okay. All right, I think that's a fine start for our orders. So let me go ahead and unpause that. And what's going to happen is these jobs, there you go. So you can see the carpenter's workshop, the jobs are showing up over there. Because as soon as they get validated, which again is happening instantly and without the manager going to an office, these jobs get validated, they get thrown into the queue, and then someone's going to go and get started on that. Now, I think as soon as I get my first migrant wave is when I'm going to go and get my dwarves to become more specialized and focused on individual jobs. Right now, it's only the 2 miners that are exclusively doing that, although you are harvesting plants, which is interesting. Huh. I don't say that everyone harvests. Now, I don't think harvesting has a skill check, which is why everyone harvesting is fine. But I didn't realize that that would take over even the people who've set to something exclusively. Now, while we're on the screen, stone use over here. So economic stone. This is stone that has potentially a special role to play beyond just being a rock. It's a rock that can also do other things. So what we're seeing here is things like coal. We're seeing things that hold ores, for example, that sort of thing. Most of these aren't checked. So this is whether or not this economic stone could be used to make, say, a table, right? We don't want to use coal to make a table because we'd rather use it as actual coal. Now, some of these things have it turned on right away. And by default, these are things that are flux stone. So dolomite, apparently we've run into dolomite, which is why it's on the list, and marble. Those are two examples of flux stone, and by default, they are enabled for non-economic jobs. So we can make a marble table, which actually sounds very nice, but I'm going to turn those off by default right now because I want to make sure to not use our flux stone willy-nilly because we might want it for our steel industry. It's not a huge deal because you do tend to end up with a lot of the flux stone, but it's something to look into. It's a little annoying that until you find it, like, I think... So limestone wasn't turned on, and neither was chalk. Is it because we didn't run into any? I don't know. Anyway, otherwise, yeah, all the other stone can be turned on. You can use this control if you really want all your furniture to be one color. You could fine-tune things, although you could also do it with just your job orders. Struck onyx. It started raining. Okay. Carving upward stairs? Oh, we had a little bit more of a dig down over here. Why are you still making stairs? Now, if anything, yeah, you're going to come over here and start removing the ramps. Okay, this got built up very nicely, very quickly. We're missing one little wall there, which will get done soon. I'm going to go and order the wagon to be deconstructed. And yeah, I think we're going to have to start building some traps things fairly soon. Defend ourselves against the wildlife. I'm not worried about being raided by goblins or anything of the sort right now. But other things, yeah. Storing items, that makes sense. There's a bunch of stuff still on the surface that's got to be brought down here. It's a bit of a walk to the surface, right? Because we're kind of deep down. I mean, we're not super deep. But that is taking a lot of extra time, which is a little unfortunate, but hardly the end of the world. I guess we can make traps made out of wood early on. I think I need a second carpenter's workshop, like, very quickly. I'm going to build a second one. Because, yeah, I want to go, and we're going to add wooden cage. Empty cages. Keep, like, 4 around, so we can relatively easily restock our traps. And we'll set up the automated job over here. So those all also get thrown into the queue. Let's plan some doors. Now, one of the things, if you don't have DF hack, you need a door to be constructed before you can start placing it. With, does this disable the planner? Yeah, there you go. So, right, if I try to build door and put it here, it says, hey, you don't have a door right now. You got to build it first. Kind of annoying and kind of frustrating. With DF hack, when you've got the planning mode on, now you've got all sorts of extra like conveniences for filtering. But the big thing is you can place down a door here in planning mode. This doesn't exist and won't get built until we have a door. But what's going to happen is DF hack keeps checking to see once a door gets built, it'll be assigned to be placed over here. This lets you pre-place things ahead of time and stops you from, like, just keeps the flow of things very well, especially with the order system here, where we're sort of making, you know, keeping a couple of doors around is very convenient to, like, fill these orders later on. It's just beautiful. We'll do the same thing with beds. So beds over here, I'm going to go and just drop a bunch of beds into here. And this is going to be set up as a dormitory. So I'm going to hit Z for a zone, not bedroom, sorry. Dormitory, and we'll just draw out this area over here and accept that. So our dwarves won't have individual bedrooms to start off with. I had thought about digging this area out and making this like temporary little bedrooms and then making this into a dining hall, but we can probably just start with the dormitory and I think we'll have better luck. We have lots of rock salt here. I think this is the last time we played we had a lot of rock salt, so everything ended up being pink, which is cool. I think did we combine it with like black floors? We may have. Sorry, I just realized, is that like, there's like, it's like, is it K-pop band or J-pop band that's like Blackpink or something like that? That's what I meant. I just think that like pink and black are good colors to go together. Just visually very appealing. But I don't know. No, it must have been on a map where we had obsidian. We might have had rock salt and obsidian. I can't remember. Tourmaline. So I don't... Yeah, well, okay. No, we did hit a vein because we got the tetrahedrite. Still hoping for some hematite or limonite or something like that. That'll be an iron-bearing ore, but we'll see what we can do. We did pack some booze to start off with, but we probably want to get a still operating relatively soon for a variety of different reasons. So we'll put it here. Do I want to set up the... You know what? We've got some shearable animals. Farmer's workshop is going to be over there. Do I want to do anything else? We don't actually need a kitchen right now. I don't want anyone fishing, so we're not building that. Boyard to make some... Right. Set up some wooden crossbows and some wooden bolts. We could maybe do some hunting. Well, we're going to want one, so let's go ahead and get that set up. And so these... okay, so let's take a look at DF Hack over here, right? And we can look at the control panel. There's a hotkey for it, but I never remember. Apparently, it's Control-Shift-E. This control panel lets us set up certain things on automation. And there's a lot of tools that I really like. First of all, under Preferences over here, you can check those. UI overlays, everything should just be enabled. For gameplay, I have a few things. So I set it on auto start, which means it is currently enabled. I hid the tutorials here because it's annoying otherwise. I want these two. I want to be warned when someone is starving or someone is stuck. That's very important. I like those. We might turn on some of these other things later on. Who knows? Bug fixes. I'm going to keep all these bug fixes on. That's great. And then for automation, we are going to make use of auto butcher. We'll also make use of auto chop. And either auto clothing or tailor. I never remember which one I like the most. They do similar things, but in a different way. Auto farming is going to be very useful later. We'll definitely make use of that. You can see by default, auto milk was turned on, which is why that's getting queued up. Auto shear as well. Auto slab's quite nice to prevent you from having to like worry about micromanaging which slabs get built. Clean owned, if you're going to run something, you want clean owned on because it's kind of annoying. Dwarves annoyingly hold on to their tattered clothing forever. And then they get upset. They're like, oh, I have tattered socks on. But they refuse to take them off and put on new socks. So cleaned owned will run periodically. And yeah, encourage dwarves to drop their old tattered clothing so that they can go and equip some new stuff. So the variety of things over here. Suspend Manager is another one that's actually incredibly useful as a quality of life thing that even if you don't know what it just does things in the background that is like brilliant. Well, apparently I have Tailor turned on, so that's must have been what I like to use later on. Maybe I'm gonna turn off the Tailor for now, because we're gonna think about it when we get our clothing industry set up. Okay, so that's gonna be okay for now. Good. Direct tables are done. Yeah, we'll make a little dining hall. I might still make this into a meeting hall, dining hall, little tavern early on. We'll see. Doors. You don't need doors leading into these areas, but they can look nice. Both like for you as a player, but also for the dwarves. If these are well-constructed doors, they'll get some happy thoughts. So why not? We'll throw some of those down there. All the doors are still busy. Everyone's still busy. No one's come and finished this over here, this wall. They got other things going on. Oh, someone's got a construct building job. That's probably what they're coming to do. I mean, we still have the front door wide open, so it's not like we're missing out on stuff. Did I set up the wooden cage? I did. Okay. So for traps, we need mechanisms for any trap, as far as I know. And we're specifically looking to build some cage traps, so we're going to need some cages. Again, those things are probably almost certainly not made. Both the cages themselves and the mechanisms probably don't exist yet. But in planning mode, I will plan to do a big line on either side of our entrance over here. Again, unless something just coincidentally happens to run straight down the middle, they will bump into a cage, which is great. There's a boulder over here, which I'm definitely going to want to smooth down, because I'm not sure if the boulder can stop a caravan, but we'll do that. Now, trade caravans can walk, like any friendly can walk through your trap tiles and everything like that, and that's fine, including trade caravans. However, the wagons of a trade caravan have much stricter rules about what they can do, and they cannot cross over trap tiles. They also can't use stairs. And they're also 3 tiles wide. So if you want the traders to arrive with wagons, which is good because they bring a lot more goods and they can take a lot more goods away, so it is generally desirable, you're going to have to make sure you've got at least 3 tiles wide of space, no stairs that lead to your depot. A lot of times I just build my depot on the surface and it's easy peasy. But also, yeah, no traps that get in the way and so on and so forth. So what we can do is down here, this is where I'm going to build the trade depot. And why not build it right away before I forget? Right, I'm going to enable blocks. I still won't enable boulders. But we'll do that. We don't have any blocks yet, but that's okay. We'll plan the trade depot over here, which is going to get built out of wood. That's fine. And then it'll be ready to go. But on this side over here, where the trade depot isn't, we can go and put some traps down here. And I might want to go and make sure to plan for a few of those. So, and make sure under... Sorry, I just did that in the surface, didn't I? Yeah, I screwed up. We want to use mass remove. I think I just did what I said make sure you don't do. You don't just want to build cages, which is what I was doing. You want to go to cages and build cage traps. Or you want to go to traps and build cage there. So cages, restraints, and cage is just building a cage that you can assign as a prison, or you can place a cage that's already got something in it for a display. Traps and cages are your trap. I do this all the time. It won't be the last time I make the mistake. That's for sure. There, these are cage traps. Probably already had comments. People typed it all. You can go and delete your comment. I caught it. It's very easy mistake to make. And then what we'll do is we'll plan some cage traps over here as well. So again, the trade caravan wagons can't go over these traps, but they won't need to. And this is going to protect the entrance to my base from, right now, random critters that might randomly have wandered in. Now, very small critters won't trigger the traps, but those kangaroo men might if they were deciding to come through here. Oh, I think, yeah, you're bringing a yak to the surface to our pen, which is great for grazing. All right. Yeah, no seeds over there. That's fine. Now, we can also, we went and picked some plants off the surface, so we have some extra food as a buffer to start off with. As those plants get eaten, or if they get brewed into liquor, they will leave their seeds behind. We could go and plant them on the surface, and it might be worth having a little bit of a surface plantation just to, I don't know, diversify the food we might have. Let's go and do a little something. So we'll build a farm plot. I'll just tuck it over here. And yeah, we'll do maybe, we can consider a little bit of surface farming just in case we need it. Okay, trade depot is being built. We need it ready before autumn, which is easily going to happen. So, build dining hall, or I could just pull out a little hallway over here and make it into a temporary dining hall. No, it's fine. Yeah, no, I'm happy with this. Let's go furniture, tables. I'm just going to build a little table over here. Each chair needs one, like each table has one chair. It's a 1-to-1 ratio over here. So we'll do this 4 dwarves at a time. We'll be able to enjoy a meal over here. We're going to make a zone out of this. So I'm going to make a dining hall. That's going to be this area over here. I'm also going to make a meeting area that's going to be a tavern. I'm going to have it overlap, which gives technically a little like debuff to the quality, but it's not going to be an issue. I'm going to overkill it. This meeting hall is going to be a tavern. So the meeting hall means when we do get some migrants, by default, by the way, your what's it called? Like the wagon that you show up with. Oh, the leaves are falling down over here. The wagon you show up with counts as a meeting place, which is why your random critters and your idle dwarves will idle around that. But once you tear it down, there's not one. So if you get migrants, they're just going to stick, like a single migrant will stick at the side of the screen and not move in. So you need a meeting hall again, which we set up there. And then, you know, dwarves will be able to use this as a tavern, which could also potentially make them happy. Yeah, you can see our dogs are hanging out in this area because it's set up as the meeting place, which is all groovy. We got some dwarves having a nap in bed. Early on, they might end up sleeping on the floor the first night, which is, it's unfortunate, but, you know, hopefully they'll get over it. At least here they will have some beds. It's not a great little dormitory, but it's not the worst. We could quickly do a little smoothing job over here to increase the quality of this dormitory. Might not be the craziest idea in the universe. I don't know. What are you doing? Oh, you guys are just hanging out, listening to a story. Telling a story. So Dart Sleepy is telling a story. You can, I feel like you can listen in on what the story is, but I can't remember how. Also, I do have to like take a look at our dwarves' traits soon to see, you know, different personalities. Maybe we should just, let's take a look at our leader here. So Pyramid Bread is our expedition leader. He has sharp intellect, very good focus, very good feel for social relationships. That's good. Wow, how lucky, because we did not map one to the other, right? This is their base personality here. But he has an iffy sense for music and a very bad sense of empathy. All right, an expedition leader, we would prefer if they were empathetic. But, you know, good feel for social relationships, great deal of patience. That's got to be useful. Rarely develops negative feelings towards things, generally unhindered by the thoughts of others concerning his actions. Is he a psychopath? Likes Tinglaze, Electrum, Clear Zircon, Color Amethyst, Greaves, Barrels, Rings, Rabbits for their ears. Will be interesting if this person becomes a mayor, what kind of things they'll demand that I make. But that's a problem for later. And possibly a Dwarven Atom Smasher. You hang out? Yep, Darth's still trying to socialize over here. All right, that's fine. Outer Moppet, having a snooze. And yeah, giving them the ability to socialize in the tavern as well can help fulfill some of their needs, which is just wonderful and lovely. All right, that hasn't been built yet, but yeah, listen to music. Now, they are going to be spending some downtime. Oh, you know what? I'm realizing our miners probably don't have anything to mine anymore. I'm going to put them on generic jobs. I'm going to let them do things other than just mine at this point. There we go. Yeah, rock mechanism, constructing building. There we go. Yeah, you probably haven't anything to mine in a while. Now, we could do some exploratory digging for some ores, but it might be a little early for us to set up our metal industry anyway. We do have a bunch of coal ready to go. And of course, we've got enough wood. We could set up some wood furnaces, do some charcoal as well if need be. Start developing some metal armor. I don't know. I mean, well, at least I'd say wait until our first migrant wave comes. It's not like we're not still busy, right? We've got plenty of work to do. Oh, there you go. Migrants have arrived. So we'll see our population go up. If the migrants arrive and your population just goes up by 1 and then stays there, it's because they're stuck at the edge of the map because there's no meeting place. Now they're going to come through. Now, some of them may have brought some extra animals that need to be grazed. So what we can do is we can take a look at our pen pasture, say only show me grazers, and everyone is already assigned here. We can also just show me the roamers, right? So this would be unassigned grazers. Okay, none of the dwarves on this migration wave brought an animal that's got to be assigned for grazing. And again, if you're running the option here under gameplay to warn starving, it'll let you know if there's a starving animal as well, which probably means you didn't assign someone to grazing. So you want to keep an eye on that. All right, our traps are starting to develop, which is, I think, going to be good to protect us from these kangaroo men. I mean, it almost feels a little early to set up these traps. Usually I don't worry about it until we start getting some like goblin thieves or snatchers. But kangaroo men have me a little terrified. Now, I'm still missing the old Shift D tool to show me whether a trade caravan can reach this. And I don't think DF Hack has added that in. Like a depot. Yeah. Because in Classic, you do Shift D, and what it would do is do a map overlay that would show you if this trade depot was reachable by wagons. I think it should be, because they should be able to go down these ramps and turn these corners. I'm a little bit worried if that boulder might get in the way. I don't know if that actually impedes them. Trees would, and in any case, I'm thinking of building a road in this area here just to make sure that's not an issue, but I'll wait until that's smoothed away. Maybe I'll get that smoothed out too, because we might go and extend the road out a little bit. They're building the road just to prevent trees from growing in an area and blocking the path. Let's it look nice. We can get the road extended all the way into here, and won't that be lovely, right? Sparrow remains. Oh, we don't have a garbage dump or anything yet. Maybe it's probably time for this, because otherwise the refuse is just going to add up inside. So let's make a stockpile, I guess, outside the walls. Let's do a big one over here, which is just going to be our refuse stockpile. We could also do a corpse stockpile for other things. Maybe I'll build a corpse stockpile outside over here too for random grisly body parts that might be decaying. All right, so that should help to keep our base a little bit clean. Very important. Now, with our new dwarfs, if any of them were children, I don't know if you could tell from here. Actually, you probably could. I think the answer might be no. They should get re-nicknamed soon. I think I have my nickname policy run maybe once a month. So everyone else here should also get a new nickname, which will make it easier to keep track of. But yeah, under labors, standing orders, chores, this is what children will do. It has been strongly recommended that you don't have the children haul burial items because they'll see corpses and get bad thoughts. I think I might also turn them off the refuse hauling. I don't know. The refuse hauling might be okay. I don't remember. I think maybe the only one to worry about is the burial stuff. That might be cool. I don't know. So we'll get that. We'll get that. We'll be taking a look at some of our specializations. We need empty cages. That's fine. They're being built over time. I guess we'll take a look. Planting might be a full-time job at this point. I might just make pick, listen, just work on planting and nothing else. And if you've got no planting to do, you can take some time off. That might be okay. So now might be the time to start doing these work details. So we could have... There we go. Carpenter. Carpenters. So no one's actually... Oh, that's interesting. Why are you not sorted by skill? Oh, there we go. Oh, because when the list gets made, originally they don't know. But if you click off and click back, there you go. Because it would say normally it sorts based on someone's skill in a particular category. So Goose is our proficient carpenter. So we could have them be the only one to do it, so that these people who are kind of crap at it don't do it. We might want to have Goose be focused on this job because it's something we kind of need kind of consistently. They're also set to be our woodcutter, so I think we'll go and they're assigned to it. So right now they have two jobs. They have woodcutting and they have carpenters, and they'll only do those two things. And I think that's fine. What other work detail might we want early on? So I'm trying to remember because, again, they renamed everything from the pre-Steam, and I still have some things confused. Masonry, I believe, is basically the construction job, i.e. putting up walls. Stone carving, I believe, is what you do for making furniture. Stone cutting, I believe, is how you get blocks, as well as cutting tracks into the ground and smoothing. Where stone engraving is specifically engraving the artwork. So we already have a stone cutters built in. We have an engravers built in. But we might want a stone carving. So this would be the person responsible for making stone furniture. So stone carvers. Trying to say like furniture as a reminder. There you go. This is sort of the furniture doors kind of jobs. If we click off and on, we can see Sorrowful Panda is indeed our best stone carver. And this is probably something that's got to be worked on right all the time. And we do want high quality stuff. So first of all, I only want you making it. And I can probably make an exclusive job. You will probably be busy doing this pretty much all the time. Unless, you know, we haven't expanded for a while and we don't need any doors, beds, tables, or anything like that. And in which case, you know what, you can go party in the tavern. That's okay. We might mess around with this a little bit, but we'll see. Any other work details I want to make right now? Again, this is only important for people who need to be set on some sort of exclusive duty, which, well, brewing might be something to consider. Brewers. Oops. Again, if we click off and click back, no one's got any brewing skill. Now, Dorn here as a peasant means they don't have anything particularly extraordinary. And they might be a good candidate for assigning to this. Or anyone else who might have something that's not terribly exciting, like a soap maker. You're like, okay, well, that's basically the same. Tell you what, Dorn, how about we do that? I don't know what your blue color means. Here, you'll be set to brewing. I might not keep you exclusive this, but we'll only have one person doing it right now so that hopefully they can develop some skill at it. I don't know, brewing's a pretty constant job. Maybe we do this so that you're always busy doing it and not filling up with other work. We could give you a second category as well. Just... maybe that's okay. Anything else I want? Oh! Stone crafting. That's actually incredibly important. We got to get our mug industry going on for our trading. So this is just literally, well, I mean, stone crafting. But it's basically the mug maker. And again, no one with a current skill at it. Starful Panda is a stone worker, but that's not stone crafter. All right, I think it might be subsorting them. I don't know, it might be alphabetical, but it doesn't look like it. It might be subsorting them based on actual skill, like some quality that they have that might be good. But let's go ahead and turn this on. We'll make it exclusive as well with Avuz, who will get a nickname later on. But we need to set up a job for this. So I'm going to make rock mugs. So at the stone crafters, you can set up any stone crafts you want. Or craft out of any material. But stone is, of course, plentiful. So stone crafts are good. Back in the day, it was very convenient for the stone crafts to all be one thing. Because generic stone crafts, they will make things like amulets, rings, toys, and mugs. Maybe some other things, I don't remember. By making mugs specifically, it makes it really easy to search for them. And then it just kind of became a meme, and so we do this. Rock mugs aren't special. They're not min-maxed for any particular thing whatsoever. I don't make mugs because they're the best thing to do in the game. I make mugs because it's fun. In fact, arguably, I think maybe just making like meals and selling those might be one of the best ways to make like ludicrous amounts of money, but we'll do that. I'm going to say you can make up to 10 a day, which you probably, I don't know if you'll have time to make 10 a day, although we may end up with multiple mug making workshops later on. But I'm going to set it to that. And, I mean, do you ever stop? Maybe you literally never stop. Just try to make 10 mugs per day, every day. So yeah, restart if complete, check daily is going to be in there. So we're not going to put any limits. Well, I guess we could say is, listen, only do it if we have at least 20 non-economic hard rock, because you could use 10 of them for the job, and there'll be some extras left over for something else. I might want the game to scream at me if I'm out of stone, but that'll happen for my like doors and tables and stuff jobs. So if we run out of rocks, it'll be that, or we'll see that this stockpile is empty. So shale and rock salt, that's all good. But yeah, mugs should start happening. These traps are being put down, which is lovely. This wood is still being brought inside slowly but surely. I mean, whether or not it's being hauled inside or just being picked up for a job, we'll see. Still plenty of room in the stockpile, which is okay. People partying over here. Might want to set up some pig kennels and our egg farming, maybe sooner rather than later. Yeah, still waiting on the cages, but we do have jobs for that to happen. I think we probably need more carpenters. Now, I don't know if we're going to need many carpenters later on, but right now, I think there's a lot of demand for carpentry. Now, did I set the carpenter's job as only select to do this? Yeah. I might want to set it to everybody does this. Just for now. So Goose will keep working on it full time, but we can have some other people contributing. And yeah, it'll dilute the labor pool a little bit, but I think it's going to be important for a bit of catch up in this early sequence. And then if we can get long term, I think maybe 2 expert carpenters is probably good. There's a kill going on. Yeah, we want to catch up in some of these beds. We need lots of barrels, cages, bins. We've got a lot in here that we want. So by having more of these, the jobs will get spread out a little bit. We could even change the number of them that get made per day just to make sure that more of them get queued up in a few different places. But I think it does try to spread them out. I'm not sure. We'll see what happens when we get these. What I'm hoping is we see is a bin here, a bed here, a barrel here, for example. We'll see if that actually happens, but that's what I'm hoping for. Everyone should still be busy. I was like, oh, we could fill time by doing some smoothing, but I don't think we want to do that right now. Everything's loverly. I like the way these farms look. No seeds sitting around here, but I think there's just a lot of hauling jobs still do. I mean, there's still a bunch of stuff on the ground here from us tearing down our wagon. So, I mean, it's typical Quill experience. I've queued up a million billion jobs. But things are progressing. I mean, you got some dwarves that aren't brilliantly happy right now, but they're not eating any cooked meals. They're just sleeping in a dormitory, which they're not super pleased about, but deal with it. Part of me is like, well, I could go and mine out some bedrooms, and a proper dining hall right now. And I mean, arguably, our miners aren't doing anything. But I think it makes sense to catch up on some of these jobs we have right now. Especially all the stockpiling stuff. Yeah, I think that's going to be good. Starful Panda, just doing socializing over here. Oh, you're set to only stone carved furniture, and you got nothing to do, really? All right, I'll turn off the exclusive job for you. And this peasant as well. All right, I'll turn off the exclusivity there as well. Just in case. I mean, you might have been socializing because you had to know. They say they immediately went to work. That's going to be okay. So it just wasn't enough in the queue to keep them focused. Early on, I don't tend to use too much of the exclusive job. As long as they're busy with it, then it's going to be okay. This person here currently has no job, but... yeah, and then they're socializing. Okay, same thing. I'll turn off the speciality. So, looks like the farmer's pretty much got a full-time job ready to go. Might want to turn on auto farm. You never got around to finishing this farm plot. That's crazy. The farmer's literally spending all their time just planting stuff here. Well, they might be having to haul a bunch of seeds all over the place. I don't remember Did I remember to turn off seeds over here? Oh, I didn't. Hang on. Bunch of seeds probably got hauled down here. Let me turn off the seeds from this generic stockpile, which should encourage them to be hauled over here, which theoretically might optimize things for our farmer a little bit. Now, this has like no barrels or anything set up. We may have to set up a secondary stockpile later on. Maybe I could set another stockpile here that does have barrels, but that feeds from one to the other. We can do something like that. All right, still traps are coming in here. How's the wildlife? Giant sparrows. Okay, so no kangaroo men anymore, although they might be back. I'm pretty happy we're setting up these traps. You are so happy. And yeah, everyone's got a nickname now. Beautiful. Yeah. Utter Moppet, why are you so happy? Satisfied to work. We're annoyed getting caught in the rain. Tenderness remembering talking with a lover. Ooh. Oh my. Okay. Beds are coming along well. I wonder if it's worth doing a quick smoothing on this to make the dormitory more appealing. Maybe. Let's just go ahead and do that. I mean, everyone's still pretty busy, but it's not going to be that long of a smoothing job. There we go. Enjoying some meals or socializing. Wooden cage, plant seed. Yeah, that is continuous planting happening. Wow, they are so busy. Okay, I just noticed we're 43 minutes in. What we're going to do is we're going to put a cut in here. I might let the game run a little bit between episodes, just to catch up on more of the labor, because we're not really building anything new right now. So I might just be letting some things happen. Oh, there we go. Seeds are being deposited here. Perfect. And then we'll come back at you. Well, probably pretty soon, because we're going to get the trade caravan in autumn. So I'm sure we're going to want to deal with that. Folks, thanks a lot for watching. Again, likes and comments really help a lot with the algorithm. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.